Hello and welcome to Caravan Escapades. I hope everybody's keeping safe and well. Today's video is going to be about a reversing camera, and reversing cameras is something I've been thinking about for a while. I've no problem in reversing onto pitches, still use the motor mover as well, but if I can I'll reverse onto the pitch. But the bit that always gets me, I've either got to send Claire out the car basically just to see me back and see how close I can get back, or if I'm by myself, particularly in storage, is I've got to keep jumping out of the car and moving backwards or running back to see how far. I've looked at various different types, and there are some expensive ones out there, and I had in mind really to have a proper install. Didn't necessarily want too much drilling in the back of the Caravan, but I did want a proper install. Anyway, last weekend we went away with some friends of ours, and he said, hey, look at this, look at this. I said, what's that? He said, this is this solar powered reversing camera that I've just installed. He said, it's absolutely mint, it's been brilliant, it's not failed me at all. So I said, look, give me the name, let's have a look. So the website is Auto-Vox, and what I will say is I am not sponsored by Auto-Vox in any way, shape or form. I have purchased this camera myself. I haven't even opened the box yet, it's still got the cellophane on. My friend, he got like a long thin one, basically, which fitted near the number plate, just kind of stuck on with I think a magnetic strip on the number plate. He had the I think 5-inch screen. I've gone a little bit more. I've gone for the 7-inch screen and the 1080p, and a camera that fits just on the top back edge of the camera. If you can hear some plane noises, you have to excuse me. We're at Weston-super-Mare at the moment, so we are seeing some flights in and out of Bristol Airport. So let's get the box open and let's see what's inside. In fact, I've been looking forward to opening this for a while, because this arrived on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. But there should be no drilling or anything like that required to fit this to the car. Now, I've got a bin down there, so any rubbish I'm just going to put in the bin, so bear with me a moment. So let's open the box. Oh, more tape on the box. Oh, look at this. Oh, I'm impressed with this. Comes in a nice carry case as well, so I'm just going to put this in the car out of the way. So let's see, and you guys are seeing this for the first time as well, so let's see what this box contains. Oh, I don't want things to fall out. Oh, okay, so what's this we've got here? Oh, so that's the screen. Oh, okay, so this is a screen looks like this is a screen that I can fit over my rear view mirror. I didn't realise that this was the type of screen that was going to come, but that's not a problem. Maybe I've ordered the wrong one, but that'll work just as well, as long as I can easily detach it, or it might not fit over. Looking at the back of it, it might just be another clip in the window and a long thin screen. So let's just put that back in there, and let's just move that over there. Okay, wow, this does seem substantial. So well, this really does seem a substantial bit of kit. So here is the camera. That's the camera there. There's the solar panel. There's the antenna connection, USB-C, so you can obviously give it a charge as well, so you can give it a bit of a charge as well. Power on and off button. No, okay, so now here's the dash mount. So there is a dash mount, sticky dash mount there, so there is a dash mount for that monitor. So it's a long thin monitor. I think I was expecting a square monitor. Here is here's the power cable, so that power cable must end up going into must go under the camera or somewhere, or the monitor. Here is, well, it's power, isn't it, so it must be going into the monitor. Here's the USB plug-in with an adapter and a switch on there. So we've got some screws, which makes me a little bit nervous. And here we've got a mounting plate. I can only assume that this mounting plate is for the cam. Oh, it's magnetic. Okay, so it's magnetic. Right, so that is magnetic. Yeah, it's very, very strong magnetic as well. So that'll go, there we go, so that'll go on the top edge of the camera, the car caravan there, and that'll stick there. Screws, worried about screws. Oh, there's a flat plate as well, so you can have two okay, so this does depend on the back end of your caravan, so you can have a flat plate there. If you do need to angle it, you can angle it. Yeah, so it goes that way round like that on the back of the caravan. But then there's some ridges on it. Have I got it? No, sorry. Okay. I think I've got the screws necessarily the wrong way round. I'm hoping the screws aren't for, yeah, this is a pretty strong magnet, so it would go flat like that. The camera, you probably can't see it. God, that is a strong magnet. So that would fit on there like that. Yeah, what makes me a little bit nervous with these plates is there are some screw holes, and I don't really want to screw this into the back of the caravan. And here you've got a couple of antennas, short antennas, long antennas, I think. So there's an antenna for the back of it. Yeah, so you've got short stubby antennas or long antennas, I guess, depending on the length of your vehicle and that sort of thing. So let me take a look at the instructions. Let me take a look at the instructions and I'll come back to you shortly. Okay, I've read the instructions. So the instructions do actually advise on screwing it in. That I am very reluctant to do. I think what I'll do, I was going to install it today because I thought it came with kind of like a sticky magnetic pad. It doesn't. But I think what I'll do is I'll wait, because we've got some really good kind of 3M type material, some bonding stuff that I can use to literally bond it onto the back of the caravan. But with some heat and stuff like that, I should be able to take it off at some point. So I think that's what I'm going to do. At least that way it can be cleaned up afterwards, and it should be held up, or it should be held into place nice and safely. The other thing is two dummy antennas, tall antenna on there. The two small ones are for the receiver. But rather than trying to install this now while I'm here in the campsite, particularly with the fact that I'm going to have to stick it or bond it or something along those lines, I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to do it properly, get a 3M pad that kind of, you know, almost matches the back, or slightly bigger, and cut one to size. But I have identified a location for it, so let me show you here. What I'm going to do is literally just mount it just below here, just below the swift side, because you can actually, in fact, let me show you this as well. Let me just put you guys back here. What you can do, so my thoughts are, here's the camera, so my thoughts are, we either go for the angle bracket, and I'm going to need to power it up really and check this first. So I'm either going to go for the angle bracket straight off and see if I can get the angle that I need, so it would be like that, or go for the flat bracket. I'm not going to put the flat bracket on, so go for the flat bracket and then angle the camera, because if you can see that, you can actually angle the camera. And I guess I'd like to see, it might even be a taste of the both, because I would like to be able to see the back end of the camera, because that's what I'm really doing it for. It's not what's going on behind me, it is the back end of the camera. So yeah, but I have to say, it certainly looks like a well-built piece of kit. There is also a security screw and a little hole in there for securing your camera in. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, but my fault. I should have opened it all. I was hoping to kind of fit this and give you a demonstration of it while I was traveling back. But I think what I'll do is, when we're home, I will basically get all this set up first of all before we even mount it, prove that it works, then I can define exactly the best mounting angle for it, and then get it bonded on, and we'll take it on there. But we're off to France in about 5.5 weeks, so hopefully I will definitely have this installed and on before then. But also, it won't take all that time before you guys see it installed. When you're watching this, I'll see you very, very shortly. Hello, it's actually about 2 or 3 weeks further on, maybe even a bit longer than that, since we were last talking about the Auto-Vox reversing camera. And as you remember, I was a little bit disappointed because it looked like I was going to have to screw it on. But what I've done is I've purchased these various different 3M pads, and my idea is to basically make up a suitable pad out of these that I can screw the brackets to. But there are two types of brackets. There's one that's got an angle. Where are we? There you go. There's one that's got an angle like that, and there's the flat one. Now the camera, if you remember rightly, does have the option to tilt it down like so. But what I need to do, I need to work out and determine what the best angle is to fit it up there so I can get the best view, taking into account I've got this on here. I mean, do I actually want to stick it there? I don't think I do. I think I want to stick it up there. So I brought my power bank out. We can power up the monitor. I've actually already done that anyway. I can line it up and we can start to take and have a look. So let me crack on. Let's get that sorted and I'll come back to you in a minute. So let me very quickly show you what I've just done. I've got the camera here. I'll just put that down there. So let me just take this out of here a minute. So if you can see around here what I've got, and I don't know how well you can see it. Look, there's my hand over the screen. So I've got that into my power bank, so I can go up the ladder and kind of align and see what sort of image I get. So let's start to have a bit of a play around. So, oh, it's magnetic, so it keeps sticking. So I'm kind of thinking that I want it sort of about there, and then it looks down there. But is it looking? No, it's actually, that's pretty good. That's looking straight over the bike rack. Let me just bring this monitor a little bit closer to me so I can see a bit more, make it a bit easier. If I take the camera again now, and let's stick it, so that's it just there with a flat plate, and tilt it down. Do I want, the trouble is I'm going to start taking, if I tilt it, let's get the angle bracket and just try that. And I think what's going to happen here, and you guys probably can't see this very well, is as soon as I put it on any more angle than that, I'm going to start seeing the top of, you know, even, yeah, now I'm just looking at the bike rack there, so I think it's really got to be, yeah, that's the issue. So if I take that plate off there, we go with the flat plate and we look down there, and what that gives us, we don't want to go any higher than that because we go into things, so it needs to be about there. If I go up with the camera, we're just looking straight out the back, so it's definitely got to be down about there. And then let me just try and come to the side a little bit so I can see a little bit better rather than trying to look through myself. Let's have a look. So literally about there. Let's come over here. Yeah, that's kind of where I want it. I think any further down, you can't see this here really, but any further down, and we literally are going to be looking at the bike rack. So it's the flat plate. So let's crack on here. Now what I'm going to do now is obviously going to clean the back of the Caravan up in a minute, but we're going to use the flat plate for mounting. So I'm just going to draw, in fact you can watch me do this really if you want. I'm going to draw around the 3M bit. Just get nice and flat on here. So I'm going to draw around the 3M bit, like so. Just like this, holding it nice and tight. And we've got a bit of an outline there if you can see it. Take the scissors and we shall start to cut this out. Really good. I might just trim a bit off because I like it not to be on show. So if we take a little bit off here. There we go. So I'm kind of reasonably happy with that. That's covering the whole of the back plate. So let me, right, next thing I need to do is clean the Caravan up there, because we're not going to stick this on anything that's dirty. So we shall give this a bit of a clean now. So I'm just trying to work out where the centre line is. I'm not going to get stuff out of measure. Some of you might and some of you probably should, or that way I don't have OCD. Right, so let's peel off one side of this and get this stuck on here now. I use this VHB tape stuff at work, it's pretty good. So let's firmly push that down, let's give it a good squash, and then we'll just pick that rubbish up before it blows everywhere. And let me turn the ladders around here so I can kind of get nice and lined up with the centre of the Caravan. Peel the other bit off. This is always the worst bit, trying to get the other bit of stuff to start coming away. Just it come in. There we go. And it's clear VHB tape, so try not to get my fingers on the back. Let's centre. Centre, so yeah, come down from there, come down from there, come down from there, get it about there. That's now pushed on. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. But actually, because the camera is magnetic, it can just clip on now. Obviously, when you're not using it, there we go, just put that up there like that. When you're not using it, gosh, this magnet is quite strong. When you're not using it is to remove it, so you don't want to leave it out in lots of bad weather and stuff like that. And there is a little thumb screw, well, not a thumb screw, it's actually an Allen screw. So let me show you that, but let's just double check on the monitor. In fact, I might be able to show you this a bit better now. Let me just double check on the monitor. Is this powered off? They're not been using it. Here we go, and that's coming on. So I don't know how well you can see that. So there's on the monitor. You can see if I came any further down, I'd start to end up seeing the bike rack, the top of the bike rack. But I wanted it reasonably high. I didn't want it down low. You can actually pair a second camera with this system. So if you wanted, you could fit a smaller one. I know the Auto-Vox do quite a thin one that will go down there near the number plate. In fact, a friend of mine's got that one. So that's on there. Why don't we just for now just double check that the Allen key screw works, if I can find it, if it's in here somewhere. I think what I will do is change this for the thumb screw. I'll find out, there's the Allen key, I'll find out what thread size, sorry, there's a screw on the Allen key. I'll find out what thread size that is, and I'll see if I can change it for a small thumb screw, just so it's not fiddly to fix it off and on all the time. It's going to need to be a thumb screw because of the overhang of the Caravan. Makes it a little bit difficult to get the Allen key in. There we go. That's that locked in place. I'm quite pleased with that. So the other thing to do now is we need to take a look at how it's best to mount this within the car. Kind of low profile mount, but basically you got this foot plate here, and swivel mount for the screen, but it's quite a wide screen. So why don't we head over to the car and let's look at how we're going to get this mounted. So I've been looking around at different mounting positions here in the cab, and to be fair, with having the widescreen, maybe I've made the wrong choice for the widescreen. It's potentially going to prove a little bit difficult. I'm not saying we can't get it mounted in, but let me show you what I mean. Let me just bring you in here. So normally, as you guys have probably seen on previous vlogs when I'm traveling, so I have the sat nav, the tire pressure gauge there. So I you know, probably, or do I change the position of the sat nav? Here's a thought. Do I mount it there and actually have the sat nav over here? You got me thinking now. Got me thinking. Let me just grab the sat nav, see what I think. So I've got the option of having the screen there and the sat nav there. I'm not sure I like that, having the sat nav just there. I suppose because I'm so used to having it over here. Let me swap them around, see what we think. Okay, so yeah, I've swapped them around and I do prefer it here. Let me try and give you a better view of that. Sorry, you couldn't see that very well. So I do prefer it over here, I think. I'm going to need to leave a bit of space at the side here because we do have some button controls there. In fact, let me just bring this up here and show what have I done. I've just swapped the channel. Didn't mean to swap the channel. Let's go back. Cam 1, cam 2. Oh, that's it, trying to search. I haven't got a camera. This is what I said before. You can have a secondary camera in there. So cam 1, we'll stick with cam 1. But I don't know why it's gone to a different channel. There we go. So we're back on there. So you do have this memory button on the back. In fact, you've got, there we go. You've got a memory button and an up and down button. What you can do is basically, let's just go through this very briefly. So you've got pair it, you've got brightness, you've got MU controls, this mirror, so you can like normal, so that's either looking through it normally or looking through a mirror or upside down, so you can flip the screen upside down as well. Oh no, stop pairing, don't want to do that. That can go off in a minute. Cam 1, we want that. Oh, what have I done? There we go. Then we can go through record, obviously fair enough. Display sleep, so you've got display sleep 120, 240 or never. I guess, I don't know whether if you've got it on never, whether it's going to draw any more power from the camera. I don't think it should do because the camera's going to be on anyway, although it might be transmitting a little bit more. But if it does go into sleep, you have a little button on the top here, which you can press, and that will turn it back on and on again, or you can actually just touch the button on the back of the screen. So we've gone through there, so go the way through. We've got guidelines, basically, which is the guidelines. In fact, they're off, aren't they? So we want those on. So there's your guidelines there. I fancy having those on. And obviously playback is self-explanatory. Playback, yeah, so different folders, so that's self-explanatory. And what's in settings? So settings, you've got date, time, contrast, reset and support. Oh, there's your date and time. So the right date, everything's good there. Tell you what I'll do is I'll try and get this mounted and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so I've got the screen mounted up there. There it is, like so. Sat nav over there. I don't think it's too unobtrusive, and when you're not using it, what you basically do is just lift it out, and you do have this thing kind of still in place. It is a slightly flexible mount here, and I do wonder whether that's going to stay in place while it's hot, and then it is a case of just dropping that back on there like that. Now, regarding the cabling, so you have this little connector here anyway, which you can connect from the camera, connect from the screen, and I will, when I'm not using it, store the screen in the carry case. I needed to sort of work a way of tidying this up when it's all the way kind of down here, and I do wonder whether I can work a way of permanently installing it. Anyway, let me get myself together and I'll come back to you in a moment. So there we are, that's the install of my Auto-Vox reversing camera system. I have been wanting one for a while. Let's see how we get on with this. It might be that I'll end up basically changing it, swapping for a more permanent install, but I do think this is okay. We are heading off to France next week anyway, so during that video what I'll do is I will probably drop in there some of the real footage of me reversing, maybe reversing onto pitches, or just generally reversing so you can see what it's like. Obviously this is a bit of a challenge. We could probably get a better view of closer down, but it might even be I'll go for an extra camera and mount it on the number plate as well, so I can have a good high top view and probably a lower down view as well. And the little camera that will fit just underneath the number plate as well, that is solar. But it's solidly built, it's well made, comes with a nice carry box. I haven't, and I will emphasise this, I haven't been sent this, I did buy it with my good own hard-earned cash. Not a sponsorship, it was bought, so this is a true and genuine review. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I will drop in the next couple of vlogs, or some vlogs that are going to be coming up anyway, particularly those ones of us on our way to France, where you can see how we get on. And we're off to France on Tuesday. It's now Friday night. Sorry, we're off to France first thing Wednesday morning. It's Friday night. We're going to get everything we need to get done to the caravan over the weekend. Packed, clean, tyres checked, weight checked, nose weight checked, all that sort of stuff. Even going to talk the notes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. Please leave your comments below and we shall see you very, very soon.